We are live. We are absolutely direct with DMC. Donna Marie is in the building. How are you doing? International Women's Day. You're crushing it.
Thanks, Jay. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on for International Women's Day. What a great day it is here where I am in Florida, and excited to speak with you today.
Yes, and I'm excited to, come into one of your next retreats that you're going to be doing. Um, Amazing results.
Yep.
Um, how are you feeling about using the whiteboard workshop method in general? Like, tell us a little bit about, how you're feeling about using the methodology and things.
Yeah, so the methodology has been life and business changing for me. I've been able to close more clients and make more money in a short amount of time than I ever did before. That's coming from a coach who has tried it all. I've been parts of masterminds. Tried to do things on my own. I've tried to do the organic play, and I just have not gotten repeatable results until the whiteboard methodology.
Let us know specifics because there's going to be people watching this. A lot of people speak about you saying, hey,
Yeah.
Donna Marie's doing so well, DMC is amazing. What specifically with the methodology has helped you to enroll clients?
Great question. One of my issues was lead generation, and the methodology that you help us deploy in our business is the masterclass and having a VA to fill the room for us. That has been game changing. I've done masterclasses in the past, and the rooms have been crickets. But using your methodology, scripting the invite a very particular way, inviting the people, following up with them before the event, making sure that they know that we're live, giving those the reminders, has increased the attendance at the events and also has increased the number of people that I've gotten on calls with and then, of course, have closed.
Okay, brilliant. I mean, we always speak visually. And
Mhm.
so if we quickly share the screen, just to maybe have a look. And it's having your VA, as you say, Criselda. Is it that
Mhm.
she's coming on and she's helping people to um, just invite people to the workshop and she's sort of kind of working the angle, making sure people are attending? Is that the element
Yep.
that we're speaking about there?
100%. And then she attends my white board sessions. So then if I need anything on the back end while I'm presenting, she's there for me. So for instance, if I upload the workbook and somebody comes in later, I'll say to her, hey, Criselda, could you drop that in there? And then she's able to drop it in so that new attendees have access to it. So it's really like having, a virtual assistant to help me every step of the way during the masterclass, before, during, and after the masterclass, honestly.
Amazing. In my 5 years of teaching this whiteboard methodology, you have exemplified the best teaching. Like, there's something about the way in which you engage people and they really feel safe. Talk to us a little bit about what we've recommended in terms of the results in advance. And I think it's one of these activities right here that allow you to demonstrate your expertise rather than explain your expertise. Could you
Yeah.
explain the difference? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So I will say though that I've gotten better because you've helped me get better. You review my workshop or if you can attend it, there's a time difference, but you'll review it and say, I want you to do the 80-20, 80% coaching, 20% talking. One thing that people often will do on master classes is they just talk too much. And it's not about us, it's about the transformation we're providing the people in the room. So the thing that I do is I help my participants actually outline the book that they would write with me.
Wow.
There's two reasons for this. One is I want them to see that it's possible.
Wow.
And then if they work with me, we've already done a lot of the heavy lifting in the workshop. So then when we have our one-on-one, we can go even deeper. So when they're ready for their writing intensive, their manuscript and their outline is really very complete. So what I do in terms of results in advance is I walk them through and we solve 3 problems: what they're writing about, who they're writing for, and what their unique mechanism is, which is how they solve the problem and what they're going to teach. And then we actually outline all the steps of their book. Now, some people who come on have their own methodology, like yours is whiteboard workshop, and you have different aspects of the whiteboard workshop. But some people come on and they don't have a unique mechanism. So I have a strategy that I use in the masterclass where everybody comes up with a unique mechanism before they leave, which really pulls together, codifies all the ways that they do things and puts it together in a very simple way for readers. What I hear sometimes coaches say, and you may hear this as well when doing workshops, is, well, the work that I do, coaching is not linear. And while I understand that, when you explain what you're doing, whether through a workshop or through a masterclass or a book, you have to be linear. And I know that's something that you do with your clients. You didn't have to do it with me per se, because I already had my methodology, but I've seen you do that with other people. I was on one of your master classes recently, and I watched you make sure people knew who their clients are and what is the outcome that you're promising your clients, because it's the transformation that sells people into you, into your program. It's not the promise. It's not the, you're going to feel proud of yourself when you write a book. Yeah, okay, I will feel proud of myself, but that's not worth $7,500. So
100%.
what's the transformation? You'll be a best-selling author. You'll be able to use your book to book keynotes, to get executive coaching clients, to XYZ, fill in the blanks.
Amazing. No, like the way that you laid it out. And, obviously doing 15K days. I know you've raised your prices to $7,500 now, and you're producing these beautiful presentations that just go through. And what's it been like in terms of showing the visual presentation to your people? Do you notice a difference in terms of the visual elements of things?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's more engaging. Jay and I both started our careers as educators. I was a social studies teacher and all the way up to superintendent. So, people learn differently. And, when you're on a workshop and you're talking, right, that's auditory. When you're showing them something, it's visual. When they're typing down, that's tactile and kinesthetic. So you're really touching all of their learning styles. So you're engaging them the way that they like to be taught.
No, that's perfect. And have you noticed in terms of prospects coming on, have they said, we really enjoyed the fact that we mapped out our workshop and it's so practical? Have you got that sort of feedback from people?
You mean mapped out their book, not their workshop?
Yeah. In terms of their book, yes.
Yeah, they're shocked. They say to me, I can't believe I mapped this whole book out. Like I can't believe it. I have somebody who came on to my last masterclass, and she decided to go to her girlfriend's in South Carolina. She lives in New York, and we're starting with her on Tuesday. Her book will be done this week. So, it's a program for people who want they want the results quickly.
Wow.
And done really well in a way that includes sales psychology of how to get people to actually buy your services. Because if we're not getting clients, we're not serving people. And I think one of the things that the whiteboard method does, which I really like, is it takes the feeling of being salesy out of sales. Sales becomes service, because even if they don't want to work with me, I've given them value. I have front loaded, they have an outline. If they want to try and do it on their own, more power to them. That's what I want for people. I find most people can't do it on their own because they're lacking the things that I provide, which is the expert guidance, the accountability, and the process.
Yeah. And, clearly as a fellow educator, I'm always looking at my clients and looking at their processes. And I think yours is one of the best that I've seen. Congratulations on digging deep. And the reason why I do say it's the best is because ultimately we will be creating a book together. So really leaning onto it. And, that's the biggest accolade. It's like, okay, this is so good. Hey, let's get this together. I don't know, one of your first activities, you said, Jay, look, get your cover together and ask the people about the work. So tell me a little bit about the process in terms of getting people to create a book cover like this that captures their attention. Because this got 44 comments here, so lots of people were engaged. So, tell us your process here in terms of like these sorts of activities that you do with your people.
Yeah. So one of the things about a book is you can start selling the outcome before your book is even live. Wow. By engaging your audience, by, putting up a few covers. And I have a book cover designer that we work with who's really amazing. And all of my authors go through a little activity where they give me inspiration covers and their colors and things, and he comes up with a number of them. And one of the things that we can do, or some want to, some don't, but it's ask your ideal clients, which of these two, like you said to me, which one do you like better? And I said, ask your audience, because they're the people you want to, you want to have your book and your images speak to. That's another thing that's a little bit different about the way we write books is we're writing it for a particular group of people or a particular person. So it's not necessarily what the cover looks like that speaks to me. It's when that person who is the coach who is struggling and can't, hates sales calls and can't get premium clients, which of these is going to speak to them, right? So we go through that. We do an interior book design. I have an amazing book designer for the interior, but really everything we do is hand over hand. It's very high touch. I'm in your book from start to finish. I know your client, your ideal client intimately. I know what you're trying to accomplish, and I'm guiding you all along the way. Now, your experience has been slightly different, but I think you've seen the difference between how I work and how possibly you were working before.
No, 100%. And to dig deeper into this, because we are always talking visual, active learning, passive learning. Let's dig in to the whiteboard workshop. Could you explain the difference here, active learning and passive learning, in terms of the processing?
Gosh, Jay, it's like you're my brother from another mother, because I actually talk about this with my people when they're writing a book. And I say, we want to take them from being active readers, from passive readers to active readers. So we include a lot of activities in there. So when someone's passive, it's like they're just watching a workshop or they're just reading a book, and it's like they think it's going to come to them through osmosis, right? And that might work for your auditory learners, but really the way that people are going to get the most out of it is if they're active. So it's where we give them activities to do. When I was a classroom teacher or I was an administrator, I would say, listen, every 20 minutes, your kids need to be doing something different. And in that 20 minutes, it's not you talking. It's like you do something, they do something, you do something, they do something. That's how the brain works. And the brains of adults need it even more because a lot of these people all day have been talked at, right? So when they come to you, they want to be active. They want to do something. And then when you are engaging them in that level, they get excited because there's something that they created, and they say, darn, man, if I created this with Donna Marie in 1 hour, imagine what I could do with her in 2 days. Or Jay walked me through, and in 35 minutes, I figured out who my ideal client is and all these things. I've never been able to do that before. You get excited for the next step. So you want people on your whiteboard to be moving to active learning so that at the end, they feel like they created something, they achieved something, you have given them value, and they're ready to take the next step.
100%. And this is not something we can wing. It has to be deliberate. I know when I was a teacher in high school, I did my lesson plans, beforehand, what's the teacher doing here? What's the student doing? Teacher, student, teacher, student. and things like this. Well described, and your workshops are ever so active. Now here it is.
Yep.
We're talking about here that there's only 10% of the market who spend, let's say, 65% of the income, and they're investing in mastery. They are buyers. How does that apply to when you're able to give such great insights in advance to the people who have the credit cards? They're just waiting for the right person. Is that making sense? So
Yeah.
how does the methodology attract the 10% of buyers who have got the spending power?
I think it not only does that, but it actually takes some of those testing solution people and pushes them up.
Ooh.
One of my authors came to my December masterclass and she said, Donna Marie, I can't afford it. I am whatever. And I was like, no problem. Like, but let me give you, we had a one-on-one after, and then she signed up for January.
Wow.
And she came back and I was like, I wonder why she's coming back. And then she said, I'm in. And I never thought she was going to be in. I thought she had convinced herself that she couldn't do it. And then in January, or no, maybe it was November and December, whatever, she came the next month. And I've had people do that where they come for one masterclass and then they come for the second and then they're in, because we're all a little gun shy. You helped me understand that phrase, trust recession, right? And, I open up Facebook and Instagram and I see these people who are, I just want to block them. Like, I don't want to see you getting on your Learjet, because that's not what's happening for most people in the coaching industry. And you're trying to sell me that I'm going to have my own Learjet and I want that. And then I fall prey to paying. It's just this whole like cyclone, right? What I like about what you and I have done, or what you've taught me to do, I should say, is that you get what you see in my 2-hour masterclass is me and how I work. You may say, you know what, that girl from New York is too much for me. Fine. But you got something to keep going. But you might say, you know what, I like that she is no nonsense. I like that she's going to push me and ask me these tough questions. And I want the result. So I'm going to work with her. So it's almost like they're also test driving you as a coach, and you're test driving them as a client.
Pause there.
Yeah.
Pause there, because I think in this coaching space, people don't take the test drive. They see what's on the outside. Oh, she tells me I can make $1 million. Oh, she's swimming in the sea and not doing any work. So that could be me. So people are buying secondhand cars,
right,
out the test drive, correct?
Right. And the test driving is the most important, but also for you as a coach, it's okay sometimes if somebody's ready to give you their credit card and you realize this isn't the right person for my program, which is why on our calls we say, if you're the right fit, we can talk next steps. You might not always want to go with people. And in the beginning, for those of you who are watching who are new coaches, I know how you feel. You're hungry. You want to serve anybody. You'll sign anybody on. But I'll tell you that those are the clients who question everything you do. They take you the longest. They don't follow through on whatever. You're still trying to get them to complete their assignments. They're asking you for money back, so you're test driving them and they're test driving you. And if it's not a good fit, it's okay to move on. And what's great about the masterclass is I don't have any guilt about that, because I've given them massive value.
Yeah. And last element.
Yep.
This works, I think it's International Women's Day, right? And let's call out the elephant in the room. The sales literature has been designed by men for men.
Correct.
I think that's just how it goes, right? And so we know women are innate nurturers. They love to serve and give. That's why the best kindergarten teachers and nurses, you often see women in these sorts of roles. Finally, tell us about the enjoyment of the sales process. I know you may have done sales calls before. Speak about the enjoyment for yourself and the prospect in terms of the whiteboard methodology, your whiteboard workshop?
So before doing sales calls this way, I did not have a good attitude about it. I would get into sales calls and be like, oh my gosh, they're going to say no. Or even if I thought like they would close, they wouldn't. And I knew the things I was supposed to be doing, and I would go off the rails. I would be having conversations with people like they were my best friends, whatever. But the masterclass gives me a really great foundation, because what I do is I say, I would love, and I do this. It's not like I'm just trying to get them on a call. I say, I would love to take a look at your outline together on a call. And we talk about it. And I say, well, what is it that you want to do with this book? And then I go into my questions. Okay, so we have 3 parts of the program. We know what you want to write about. What are your ideas about publishing? Have you ever published a book before? Have you looked into publishing? No. Okay. What about monetizing? Do you have any ideas how you would use this as a marketing tool? They have no idea. So then I can go into deeper how I do all 3 things. And the last, my close rate, this last masterclass, and this is kind of a teachable moment for everybody. I had a death in my family, and Jay was so kind, and he said, do you want me to take your 2 sales calls? And I said, no, that's okay. I'll do it. And I should not have taken those sales calls because they didn't close, and there was so much going on in my life. I should have just rescheduled, but I was like, no, let me do it. But then the 2 calls after closed, 1 pay in full, and 1 payment plan. So it really takes the yuck for me, out of sales calls. It makes it, sales is serving, but it feels like serving. It doesn't feel like selling when you use the whiteboard methodology. And Jay coaches you through it. We've done role plays. We've done all sorts of things to get me better at it and more comfortable with, the next right thing to say.
No, thanks for sharing. Sorry about, obviously the death in your family. And, I know that you still show up, which takes a certain type of tenacity, certain type of person, because, some people are like, hey, okay, someone said no to me. I'm not going to take any more sales calls, or this means that the method doesn't work. But you show that tenacity, you have a massive vision, which is so powerful. And I think, nothing will stop you from actually executing upon that vision. So, so thank you for being you. Thank you for stepping into that power. What's your vision, like, with this whiteboard methodology? I know you speak about offline workshops, and, I can see you on Oprah's couch.
Oh, you're so sweet.
This is what I can see for you, 100%. Yeah.
What I'm about to say, I don't think I've said to you before. So hold on to your jumper. You're not wearing
my hair, because I haven't got any hair. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think of a King's English word. Hold on to your trousers. But
yes,
I actually would love a whiteboard, either whiteboard masterclass, book in a weekend combination. Wow. Because the master class has been so great for me. I would love to work with you to serve my clients so they can have the same type of results that we have. As I started the masterclass with you in November, each week I meet with my clients twice a week. And I was like, I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing with my masterclass and show you the results. And a lot of them want to do a masterclass. So I think it would be a nice relationship, because for me, it's not just about the book. It's about what you're going to do with the book. And when you know how to do it, you're give a man a fish they eat for a day, teach a man how to fish they eat for life. Same with women. So
100%. And it's such a sign that it's International Women's Day. And I know there's a lot of women suffering out there. There's a lot of women undercharging out there. And there's a lot of women thinking, where's my next meal coming from? Hey, look, divorced. We know the divorce rate's up. But hey, look, lots of people in scarcity right now. And I think it's women like you that help to uplift the collective. You're always looking to collaborate, which is the key. My mom always says to me, half a melon is always worth more than 100% of the grape. So many
Mm.
people clutching the grape, wanting the grape, but it's like the win comes when everybody um, works together. And it's like, here's the key question: why do women need that? It's a need. Like, why now? International Women's Day. Like, let's say it loud and proud. Why?
Because sales is serving, and we are, as women, we lead differently, right? And we lead with a servant's heart. Not that men don't have a servant's heart, because I believe you do as well, but we are fixers. We
Mm.
see a problem, we want to fix it, but we can't help people fix their problems if they don't hire us to work with them. So we have to see sales as serving, unless you're going to work for free, which that's not how the universe works. Energy is energy. If you're going to give someone something, they need to give something back to you. So we need to learn how to do sales, because that's how we're going to amplify our message, amplify our methodology, and help more and more people. Listen, last year alone, I helped 20 women do books from November to January, maybe less than 20. I'm on track using the masterclass methodology to double, possibly triple that number this year. And I'm able to do that on my own without even having to scale a big company, because my methodology is so one-on-one, so close, high touch. So what's nice about the masterclass is it's not one-to-one, it's one-to-many. And then you do your sales, button it up with a one-on-one. But now you know the person. You go back through your chat, you're like, oh yeah, she's the one who had the methodology about helping women in cancer. So now I know what I'm going to talk with her about, right?
No, and what I can see for you is 25K offers, 20K offers, because there will be some people that might want that VIP service, maybe fly out to New York and, potentially maybe do that. And so I think that should be in your locker, because some people are gonna, want to take that for sure.
For sure. I have to, and for those of you who are watching this, I have to work up to that, because that makes me a little nervous. Not about
You
me.
are worth every dollar. You are worth every dollar and cent.
That's what we do
100%.
though as
Yeah.
women, right?
Yeah.
We say, oh my gosh, what and of course I've paid that. So why wouldn't somebody else, right? So thank you.
Yeah. 100%. What would you say to anyone saying, I can't afford to invest? I've been hurt 5 times. Look, I don't want Jay to be the 6th person on my hit list.
I'm going to say he's not going to be. Jay actually came into my DMs before I spoke with him, and he asked me about something. He wanted like a LinkedIn Loom thing. And I was like, nope, no thanks. Then he came back. I don't know what you said to me, but I was like, oh, your podcast. Would you like to be on a podcast? I was like, sure. And then after the podcast, I signed up. And listen, I didn't have, whatever. I put it on a credit card, but by the time the credit card came back, I had already closed enough clients to pay the credit card. And then I was, in the black and bringing money in. And then we decided to continue to work together. And then I signed on again. And again, the return is a very high percentage compared to what I put in.
100%. And what's great is that, all the people who hopped on my whiteboard workshop are like, hey, look, I want to do my book as well. I want to, so the opportunities for referrals and joint partnerships is what it's all about. Definitely. And finally, I know you got your workshop coming up tomorrow. Send me over the link. I'm gonna put the link in the description and things like this. But let them know about that workshop that you're doing tomorrow, and there'll be other workshops if you don't catch this one. But let them know about the workshop and how they can contact you in general.
Yeah, so the workshop for March is March 9th. It's tomorrow. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested, you can, the link is, I guess Jay's going to put the link below, but you can also email me at DMC, my initials, DMC @sisterleader.org. Or you can go to my website, sisterleader.org, and it shows you all the information on booking a weekend or executive coaching, or if you wanted to bring me in as a speaker, everything's on that page. So you can't afford not to work with Jay, because if I didn't work with Jay, I wouldn't have brought in 53.5K since November. Well, yeah, since November. And I'm learning skills I'm using month after month after month. And every time I've done a masterclass, my close rate has gone up. So.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm someone very big on skill set. We can't afford to invest in information anymore. Like, because we could go to ChatGPT and find out how to create a presentation or how to create a sales script. That's not tasty anymore. But what is tasty is implementation, is identity shifts, and is not information, but it's earned insights. And earned insights are avoiding the scars that our mentors have taken by having the experience of making the mistakes, because we can't afford to make those mistakes anymore, because it takes 1 year or 2 years. And I think that's what you're so good at. It's earned insights that are like, oh, wow. So she's saying the difference between American English and British English. She's saying, publish it at this time, do a pre-launch, like get it out to your audience. You can't find those things on ChatGPT because it's locked in you and it's your experience, which is absolutely fantastic. So
thank you.
Yeah, DMC, the future is definitely bright. Keep up the amazing work. This International Women's Day is so apt that we're speaking today. The vision is just getting started, and I'm betting on you, my sister.
Thank you so much, Jay. Thanks for everything you've done, and talk to you very soon.
Powerful. God bless you, DMC. God bless the United States of America. International Women's Day. That's it. Jay and DMC in the building. Peace.
See ya.
That's the one.